Hello and welcome to the Pointless Distractions Podcast. With me,
Graham Bergeron.
crickets, huh?
Where's Scott?
Oh, we can't do the wannabes thing. Where's Scott? We'll do it this time.
That's not copying them. That's a legitimate question.
Yeah,
Where's Scott?
it's true. Where is Scott? Two episodes the last 10. He's not dedicated, I guess.
Not dedicated.
But no, Scott's currently on vacation. I don't even remember where he went, but I know he's on like the second biggest cruise ship of all time. It's like a terradrome on the high seas.
Titanic 2?
Way bigger than that. Titanic didn't have water slides or a Ferris wheel.
A Ferris wheel on?
I don't know if it actually had a Ferris wheel. It probably could though. It's big enough. But yeah, this should have been our 10th episode. We were going to record Friday when so I headed down to Jersey for the TESD Curator event, the 15th anniversary. And unfortunately, Scott, going on vacation, couldn't go to that, and Graham just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't know about it. So
I was busy.
Anyway,
I'm sorry that I graduated college.
I had the funny idea. Was it Thursday night?
Yeah,
I'm going to record after going down to Jersey from the Best Western, and when I get to the hotel. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen after that car trip.
As soon as you sent the message saying I'm going to pass out for a little bit, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we got there, went out to eat real quick. I had like 2 beers, and I'm like, I've been up since like 4 in the morning. I'm done. Like, I'm going to take a nap. Maybe I was like, it's never happening. So I definitely dropped the ball on that one. So we're going to call this one episode 9.5 because we're going to wait for Scott to get back, and then we'll do the full Curator TESD 15th anniversary recap. And then hopefully he's got some good stories from vacation, and it should be pretty fun.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a good excuse. We've been talking about bringing in a couple of the segments that we had from our lost episodes.
Yeah, you want to explain that?
Explain
what happened with the lost episodes?
So we've recorded 2 episodes so far that didn't quite make the cut. The first one was episode 2, I think, where your brother came on, and we had, a 5-minute discussion about movies that Gene Hackman had been in.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I'm not blaming my brother at all. It was our second episode. We came in hot and then fizzled out.
I think we over-prepared for episode 1 and under-prepared for episode 2.
Totally.
But, we played the fun game of Scott giving names to G.I. Joe characters and Pat and I trying to guess if they were real G.I. Joes or not, and that turned out really well. So we've been wanting an excuse to release that, so we figured episode 9.5 we'll throw in a couple of the bits that didn't quite make the cut.
What was that game called? Did they decide on Joe or no? Was that
Joe
what it was?
Or no is what we decided.
I think actually Pat coined that. So what was the other game? I don't even remember that one. Was that the hypothetical?
Yeah, the other game was the hypothetical comic book quiz show, where it's just, random questions and random answers.
So yeah. We were talking earlier last episode. Well, we've had this in the back of my head for a while. So Graham, you don't even have a favorite band, not even close to one. Am I correct? Which I think is crazy.
I would say that's correct. I'm more of an individual song person than like a avid band person.
So I've come up with this idea. I want to at least, this is kind of far stretching, by the end of the year, have Graham come up with a favorite band and not just randomly name one, like actually either discover, rediscover, find a fucking favorite band because everybody has one. Or at least, do you even have a top 5? I was asking Jen about this. She's like, just ask him what his top 5 bands are. It's like, I don't think he even has that.
I would have to think on it. There are a lot.
Name a band that you like.
There are a lot of potential. I went through my Spotify.
I feel like you're just fucking with me at this point.
Yes, that's the bit. No, I went through my Spotify the other day on my personal playlist because it has 1,100 songs on it, and the most that any band is on there is one band is on there 17 times. So it's 1% of the playlist.
Those are some big numbers right there.
Is a single band. So I think it was
what band?
Chevelle was the number 1, and then Pink Floyd was the number 2, and then there was a bunch of others.
I'm pretty sure we're just gonna end up on Pink Floyd by the end of the year, but
it's possible. But I heard you say that you wanted me to pick a favorite band, and I thought that the perfect place to start was on BuzzFeed.
Oh, naturally, that's where you get the true content.
Yeah, I googled quizzes to help me find my favorite favorite band. And I found, can we guess your favorite band? And I figured, if I can
Who
take
comes up with this shit?
I have no idea.
Some intern over there at BuzzFeed?
But it might give me an interesting direction of where to start.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So the first question is, where would you like to live? And it's a photo of London, a photo of the beach, a photo of New York, and a photo of Tokyo.
Okay.
I mean, it's between New York or the beach. I'd probably have to pick the beach.
All right, so Jimmy Buffett, solved.
Yep, there we go. All right, question 2. How do you listen to music? Depends on how I feel. Headphones, from a speaker, from my phone. I would say I'm mostly from a speaker. All right, what's your favorite color? Blue, green, pink, or red? These are very informative questions. And
Yeah,
they
I
will
can
be
see that.
important. I'd probably go with red out of these. Choose a scent: chocolate, coffee, flowers, or oranges.
Oh my god.
All right,
I feel bad for anyone still listening like 6 minutes in.
I'm gonna go with coffee. This will be important. I swear they have a very accurate scientific method. All right, the next one was my favorite question that they have in this quiz, and it is pick a dog. And it's 4 pictures of dogs. There's like a lab, a terrier.
It didn't
a
say
pug.
pick your favorite dog,
Nope,
just pick
it just
a
says
dog.
pick a dog.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick the lab.
That's how I discovered Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, and the last question is pick a bird. And I'm pretty sure it's just 4 different colored parrots. So I'm gonna pick this orange one, and it says my favorite band is Queen.
Okay. Are those like the gay choices? You pick the parrot and the beach and
I don't know.
you like Queen?
I like Queen.
Well, it's a good starting point right there.
So
We're gonna put Queen in the lead next to Pink Floyd for now. Wait, have you ever actually bought an album though?
what do you mean, like a
A
CD?
physical, like a CD, tape,
Yeah.
whatever. Which ones?
I mean, it's been a long time. So when I was buying physical albums, it was like a bunch of Disturbed albums, a couple 3 Days Grace albums, like a Seether album.
So whatever Rock 101 was playing at the time.
I didn't listen to radio, so I don't know. I was in my edgy teenage rock years.
So Graham, how big of a fan are you of like G.I. Joe?
I would say I have a passing interest. I've seen the 2 movies, and that's about it.
So never like the cartoons, the 80s stuff, even if it was before your time?
No.
So obviously, Scott and I are like huge G.I. Joe fans.
Yeah.
So originally when we started this podcast, we're like, we're going to do a lot of G.I. Joe coverage. Yeah, we had to nip that in the bud instantly. Nobody wants to hear about that. But we did have a game on the back burner that you and I have actually been sitting on for, a couple of years, even before we had a podcast. Before I even met Scott, when I would tell you all the crazy G.I. Joe names and have you guess whether they were real or not. And I'd always surprise you.
Yeah, because the names of the G.I. Joes are ridiculous and stupid.
Yeah, ridiculously awesome.
I'd have some counter argument to that, but
So anyway, episode 2, which will be probably deleted at some point, hopefully.
yeah, as soon as this bit airs.
But the one salvageable piece was a game we played called Joe or No, with Scott hosting and my brother Pat Draper. It was a pretty good game. That was the only thing we could take away from that.
It was. I mean, it's a shame because I liked having your brother on, and I think that we need to have him back. But the game itself ended up being pretty fun.
And with that, let's get to the game.
All right, first
So
installment of Joe or No.
First and only.
Yeah.
Well, what was the whole genesis of this? When I used to work with Graham, I'd always be talking about G.I. Joe shit and just mention names like Crystal Ball, which is Stephen King's son, Owen King, was huge into G.I. Joe. So what's the story? He contacted Hasbro, and they're like, oh, well, you should design your own character.
Oh, no
So he
kidding.
made this Cobra hypnotist from Bangor, Maine. And it's just wild.
The seventh son of a seventh son.
Because, Pat, you know
Oh,
about
a little
the
Iron
file
Maiden
card?
there?
Yeah, his file card. Every G.I. Joe figure came with like a file card that would be like
Yeah.
their code name, their military specialty, their real name, where they're born, and then had like a bio for them. And of course his is just out there. Yeah, here's Crystal Ball's file card. Born of a Romanian father who supposedly had second sight and an American mother from Bangor, Maine, Cristobal actually was the seventh son of a seventh son, and such men the gypsies of old believed were possessed of supernatural powers. That may or may not be true, but Cristobal can sometimes read minds, making him a unique addition to the Cobra forces, especially as an interrogator of captured Joes. Cobra doesn't use torture to interrogate their prisoners. When Cristobal is having one of his good days, they simply don't need to. So yeah, that's...
I see.
Little Stephen King for you.
So Stephen King's kid came up with that.
Must be nice to be rich.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you want to design your own Joe? Sure.
So anywho, I would just tell Graham about these G.I. Joe characters to be like, that's real, and that's
Well,
essentially
you would have
what
me
this-
guess their names. You would like
Oh,
tell
so
me
you've done
about
this
them.
before.
You'd be like, guess their name.
Yeah, I would
never
tell him
got
about the
any of
character
them.
and show it to him, and like he'd be like, I don't know, rock and roll. I'd be like, yes. But yeah, let's head into it then.
So yeah, I think the inspiration for this originally was, I mean, just to kind of give you an idea what this is going to be, I will give you the code name. I can give you their military specialty if you want as well. And that might help you decide whether it's real or fake. Probably not, because some of these are just weird. As an example, I will give you the one that everybody knows because it's the funny one. This character's name, this is a real G.I. Joe. His code name is Skidmark.
Pat's familiar with that term, believe me.
He's actually the Desert Fox Driver, which is like this cool little six-wheeled.
This is so out of Pat's wheelhouse.
Yeah,
It
well,
is, but
that was kind of the hope, is that neither one of you guys knows any of this crap.
I'm
So
gonna
it's just
give it
going
a
to be a
whirl.
guess.
Or care about it.
Well, let's start out at the top. Who's going to go first?
I'm the newcomer, so I'll go.
All right, Pat. The
Newcomer.
first one goes to you. This guy's code name is Armadillo.
I have to say whether or not it's real or fake.
Yeah, he is. His specialty is he's actually a vehicle driver. He drives a gigantic, almost like a tank thing, but it's got like big missiles and big guns, of course.
Oh, he's real.
Armadillo is real. Yay!
Fuck.
Graham.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have Battle Master. He is the G.I. Joe Field General. Real or fake?
Battle Master.
Battle Master, G.I. Joe
And
Field
he's
General.
on the Joe side.
Yes,
I'm gonna say that's fake.
that is fake. I made that up. Okay. Maybe this is easier than I thought. Next one, I guess we just go alphabetical. Next one is Bulletproof. He is a squad leader. This one's for Pat.
Oh,
Bulletproof.
I'm
He
gonna
is a
say
G.I. Joe. He's not a Cobra. He's a G.I. Joe. He's a squad leader.
sounds legit to me.
That is legit. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Graham?
Yeah.
You guys are killing this. I should have made this harder, I guess. Next one is Dire Wolf. He is a forest warfare specialist.
On the Joe side.
He is a Joe, yes.
Does he have a pet wolf?
No, he actually doesn't.
Oh,
He probably should, though, huh?
I mean, it sounds silly enough to be real. I'm gonna say that it's real.
No, incorrect. I made that one.
Ah,
That's awesome. Well, it's convincing.
Next one. This is for Graham, so it is now 2-1 Pat, and Pat is up. Downwind. This guy is a G.I. Joe sniper.
Downwind.
Downwind.
Yeah, he's real. I think he's real.
Wrong, fake.
God damn it.
Okay, this one's a tricky one. Let's see where we are. Ghost Rider. He's a G.I. Joe, and he's a stealth fighter pilot.
I'm just gonna be like, is he an actual ghost?
Or is he a guy who drives a motorcycle and has a flaming skull?
I was gonna say when did Ghost Rider start at Marvel? Like, would there be some sort of conflict with that? I'm gonna say that he is fake.
He is real, surprisingly.
Really?
Yep, and the thing that's funny is at the time, because Marvel was producing the G.I. Joe comic, and so Larry Hama, the writer, never actually referred to him as, I think he might have referred to him once as Ghost Rider, and after that it just became a running joke that nobody could remember his name. So he'd be walking around the barracks and be like, hey, it's that guy, that pilot guy.
God, wasn't that the name of that Neil Peart book, Ghost Rider?
I believe so.
All right, still 2-1. This one goes to Pat. Gristle.
There's no way that's real.
He is an urban crime commander.
I'm gonna say no. It sounds like something Kyle would have
I
made
didn't
up.
write these
He
questions. I
hates
have no
Gristle.
idea. He didn't run.
He hates Gristle. Who doesn't?
Every time he eats something
No, I
random,
love
he goes-
Gristle.
He goes, he'll eat something. He goes, it was good. Then I got a piece of gristle, and he'll never eat it again. I'm gonna say no. It's
True.
not real.
That is a real character.
God damn it.
Came out in 1993. I believe he's the bad guy. He opposes the Drug Enforcement Force.
Gristle.
Or Drug Elimination Force, I think it is. Yeah, they early 90s G.I. Joe went full Don't Say No, and they came up with this Drug Elimination Force, and of course they had the opposite guys were these dudes called the Headhunters, who were basically just drug dealers.
Kyle, did you used to call into a radio station, or some people type of ask them to
Cutting
play?
away from the game, maybe.
Sorry. All right, go ahead. Sorry. Used to ask
Nice.
if they could play some Gristle. It was a real band.
Limbs of Gristle. All right. Back to Graham.
Yeah.
All right. I feel better now. You guys are missing some of these. Grunt. He is an infantry trooper. Grunt.
I mean, I'm gonna say it's made up. That sounds made up.
That is real.
Yep.
He is one of the original 12 Joes from 1982. In fact, if you ever
Okay.
saw any advertising back then, he was kind of the face of it. He's just like this basic ass infantry soldier.
Isn't grunt like a Marine term or something like that? Or
Yeah, it's basically just
Yeah.
a term for infantry.
Yeah.
Of note, also, he's from Columbus, Ohio on his file card.
Oh, there we go.
Probably an asshole.
Yeah.
Probably an asshole, yeah. All right, next one. We're over to Pat. Heavy metal.
Heavy metal. Sounds
He is
real
a
to me. I'm
Tank
gonna go.
driver.
I'm gonna go real because he's driving around heavy metal. Yeah, he's real.
That is real. He drives one of the coolest tanks they ever come out with, the Molar.
He's like right
The
over there.
Panzer.
Oh, you have him?
I do.
He's actually a very cool character, a very cool figure. He's very detailed compared to most of the other figures out there. Okay, so it is now 3-1. Graham, you gotta step it up, bud.
I'm gonna lock in.
All right. Hotfoot. He is a flamethrower soldier.
Hotfoot.
You know what Hotfoot is?
I want to give
I
somebody a hot foot.
That's where you put the match in the shoe, right?
Yeah, they used
Right.
to do it,
Yeah.
they used to do it in the dugout. They used to give them in 80s baseball.
Yeah.
Every single one of these, my first instinct is to say that it's fake because they all just have
Stupid names.
such. I gotta keep going with my gut. I'm gonna say this is fake.
That is fake.
Okay.
Made that one up. So now it's 3-2. Come back. All right. Next one. Katana. This is a Ninja Force ninja. Ninja Force was a special subgroup that they came out with late 80s, I guess, maybe early 90s even, because, ninjas are cool and everybody likes ninjas. So there was a subset called the Ninja Force.
All right,
This would
so
be a member of that.
Katana would check out with Asian cultures and such. Yes, I'm gonna say it's real.
That is fake.
Did you lead him into that by over-explaining Ninja Force?
I had to explain Ninja Force.
Mm,
You'd be like,
nothing wrong with
okay.
Wait, is Ninja Force real though?
Ninja Force is real.
It's totally
Okay.
real.
The original ninjas, we had Snake Eyes on the G.I. Joe team and then Storm Shadow on the Cobra. Next one, Nunchuck. Another Ninja Force ninja. Real or fake? This is
Why did it have to be 2 in a row named after weapons?
Nunchuck.
I'm gonna say you're trying to throw a curveball and this one is real.
That one is real.
Yes.
Just happened to be correct because I went in
Bow
alphabetical order.
staff.
Yeah,
Is there one named
Really?
Hari Curry?
there should be now. All right, Pat. It looks like that is now tied up at 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, tied up at 3. Overkill. This is a Cobra guy. He is the leader of the Bats. The Bats are battle android troopers.
He seems real. I'm going real.
Overkill is real, yes. Okay, so Graham, pile driver. He is the driver of the Blockbuster, which is a big tank-like vehicle. Actually, it's got wheels. It's not a treaded vehicle.
I'm gonna say that one's real.
That is fake. Next one, back to Pat. Shuriken. This is another Ninja Force ninja. Named after throwing stars.
That's real.
That is fake.
Ah,
Wah, wah. All right, Graham.
Bukaki?
Bukaki, yes, Bukaki.
is that real?
Graham. Streaker. Streaker. Yeah. He is the Thunderwing jet pilot.
I need it to be real, so I'm gonna say that it's real.
Streaker is fake.
Oh, what could have been?
Oh, it could have been
Think of that after Skidmark.
Streaker and Skidmark. And of course, Bukaki.
Who's next? Panty Oyster?
Yes, Panty Oyster now. All right, Pat, we are getting near the end. It looks like I have 4 left. Yeah.
Okay.
So if we have a tie, well, I've got plenty more. Yours is Sub-Zero. He's a winter operations specialist.
Oh, he's real.
Sub-Zero is absolutely real.
I knew that name right off the bat, or at least I remember it.
Also, guy
Right,
from
Mortal
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Kombat.
That's why I thought I might throw you off. Graham, you get another wonderful pilot. This guy's the pilot of the Retaliator, and his name is Tornado. Real
I'm
or
gonna say
fake?
this one's real. Yeah.
That is
I'm gonna say
fake.
I could never. Could never work for G.I. Joe.
This is the only nerd thing that my brother could ever fucking win against Graham. I swear. Just out of sheer luck.
All right, Pat has a commanding lead. It is now 5-3 with only one to go. So
That's
I
why
guess we
his
have winner.
camera's off. He's probably looking all this shit up.
Yeah,
No,
he's
I'm
on.
not.
He's on Google right now. Okay,
No, I would never cheat like that.
we'll finish out the game though. Yours is Whiteout. He is an Arctic trooper. Another Arctic
Whiteout.
trooper.
That sounds real.
That is real.
See
Man,
the
you're killing
partner
it.
of Bukaki.
Yes.
Yeah, his partner cum shot.
All right. Last one. This goes to you, Graham. Wipeout. He is the brawler driver, another vehicle driver. You're getting all the vehicle drivers.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm gonna say that it's fake because why would you want someone named Wipeout to drive your vehicles?
True.
Well, it is G.I. Joe, but that is fake.
Okay, all right.
Wipeout.
So yeah, that was bad. 1, 2. So Pat wins, I believe, 6-4. Not bad.
Not bad.
I did better than I thought I would.
So that's fun. I got many more. If you
Pat,
ever want to do that
can
again.
you even name a G.I. Joe that wasn't in that list?
Probably not.
Oh, come on. One.
One.
Well, we already talked about Snake Eyes and
Who's the head of Cobra?
Oh, there you go.
Cobra Commander.
Ding 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 ding.
No.
No, that's correct. No, that's right. What about you, Graham?
I know.
Any
I know
clue?
Duke.
There you go. There is a guy. Not D-O-O-K, but D-U-K-E.
Oh,
I have seen the live action movies.
Oh, okay.
Fortunately, Skid Mark and Wipeout and, Alrighty, folks. It looks like Pat Draper knows a little bit more about G.I. Joe than Graham, which is pretty fucking sad, because my brother doesn't care about any of that shit.
I mean, I did throw a couple of those points, but
Fair enough.
I'll take the loss.
All right, Graham, what's the next game we have? I think this is from an episode 5 or 6, that wasn't quite up to snuff, so we once again salvaged the tail end of it.
So this one was a little interesting. I came up with a bunch of random comic book questions that weren't really trivia based. I think I say in the intro to it that it's more of a creative writing exercise than a trivia quiz.
It was pretty tough at the time, at least.
There were some tough questions. I will say, having gone back and re-listened to it, you did far better than it would appear by how much you complained during the bit.
Well, I'm excited to hear it again, I guess, after all this time.
All right, well, let's dive in.
All right, let's go. So, Graham, you were telling me yesterday you have a top secret game for Scott and I.
Oh,
That
I have quite a game for the two of you.
Top secret, huh?
So this is it's going to be a comic book quiz,
Okay.
but not your typical trivia quiz. It'll
Okay,
be
good.
more of a creative writing exercise.
Oh boy.
So I have 21 questions.
Woo.
And you guys will think about it for a minute, present me with your answers, and I'll pick who I think has the better answer. And we'll see in the end who knows more about stupid comic book stuff.
Okay.
So,
Down.
I mean, we can just hop right into it if you want to.
Well, yeah, I guess we just might as well jump into the first question to kind of give us the flavor of what we're dealing with here.
So the first question. Which member of the Justice League, excluding Cyborg,
Okay.
has the most hours put into Fortnite?
And a Fortnite?
Into Fortnite.
So you're tempted to go with one of the Flashes, but they'd be so bored with it because it'd be moving so slowly for them.
Are we just talking about like basic ass Justice League here, or
I mean, you can.
We're going like Justice League
they've been-
Detroit.
If they've been in the Justice League, I feel that
so I can say Bloodwind or whatever that guy's.
There you go.
if you want to say Bloodwind,
Bloodwind. No,
you can certainly say Bloodwind.
I have my answer.
I think I have my answer
Okay.
I
too.
have my answer.
Let's
That
hear
works.
your answer.
I'll go first. I'm going to say Ted Cord Blue Beetle. Even though
Okay.
he's probably older, but he's always been a tech geek. So I can kind of see him being there. Plus he's, he and Booster Gold probably have those long nights, and we're bored. Let's eat Cheetos and play Fortnite till the wee hours in the morning. So I think I can kind of see him as a gamer type.
All right. No, I could definitely see that. All right, Kyle.
It's definitely Guy Gardner, because he's a fucking asshole, and that's an asshole game.
Wow. You just pissed off
That-
like every Fortnite player listening to this right now.
Okay.
That's 100% how I feel. He would be a Fortnite
You're too
guy.
busy out
Literally.
drinking beers and trying to pick up skanky hoes, man.
I mean, when I went to bed last night, I was thinking of what my answers to this would be, and I'm really surprised that neither of you were fighting over Shazam.
Billy Batson, yeah.
Yeah, he's like 14.
He's a
but
teenager, yeah.
I
I was
do
thinking of
think
going with Jamie Ray as Blue Beetle, but I don't know if he's going to actually. I don't know if he's been part of the Justice
I do
League.
think I'd have to give it to Ted Cord.
Yeah.
Like I could see Ted Cord and Booster Gold just like getting drunk and playing Fortnite until 4 a.m. All right, so yeah, that's going to be the
Your
first
face,
point,
Kyle.
Scott. All right, question number 2: which supervillain has the most reviews posted on Letterboxd? And this can be Marvel or DC.
I'm going to show my age here, but what the hell is Letterboxd?
It's just like
All right, he loses.
like an online movie review thing. You watch movies and then you can it's like
Okay.
social media but movie reviews.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so we're looking for a super villain, right? Not a hero, super villain who's going to have the
Supervillain.
most reviews that he posts himself, I assume, or through his lackeys. There's got to be a movie-based super villain, right? Oh, there's probably got some weird Flash villain out there or something who's all into film or something. I don't know.
I have mine.
Okay.
Who's got a lot of
Let's hear
time
it.
on his hands?
Clayface.
Ooh.
Face.
Okay.
Wasn't he a former actor?
Yeah.
So who better
Oh, yeah.
than to rate and watch movies than... I think that's a pretty solid answer right there.
No, I like that. I could definitely see him being very critical.
I think I'm gonna go with the Ghost, the Iron Man villain, who was later like in the Thunderbolts and stuff, because he's like this weird, stinky tech guy who's like just holes up in his room and doesn't want to have any human contact, and then just he's paranoid about everybody and won't let anybody know anything about him. I think that's the way it was written in the Thunderbolts anyway. So yeah, he's probably like holed up in his little sanctuary watching all these movies and being like, "You suck and this is better and this is awesome and you suck and blah blah blah." So I can kind of see that. If you never read the Thunderbolts, you probably wouldn't understand.
I
That's
have.
kind of how he was.
I have, and you kind of sold me on it a little bit with the just doesn't do anything with his time except watch movies and rate them. But I think for this one, I gotta go with Clayface. Like he's a
He's an actor.
classically trained actor.
Yes.
I could see him just sneaking into all the movies.
Well, as soon as you said Clayface, I thought of also Mysterio because he was the special effects guy. But I was like, nah.
All right, so we'll give that point to Kyle.
I was
And
also going to Doctor
question-
Doom just because he'd be so haughty about it. Can you imagine Doctor Doom just tearing apart every single plot point of every movie?
I would love to follow Doctor Doom on Letterboxd.
But he doesn't have time for that, so
Make him watch Snow White, the new one.
you're going for quantity over quality of reviews, so
yes.
that's why I went with guy with a lot of time on his hands. Okay.
Question 3. Which superhero is the
Mhm.
most likely to collect merch of themselves?
Oh boy. I'm gonna steal Kyle's answer from the Fortnite question and go with Guy Gardner because he's such a douche that he seems like the kind of guy who would have a Guy Gardner statue and a Guy Gardner poster and probably a signed Guy Gardner poster hanging in his living room.
Probably wears his own T-shirt too.
Exactly. He's the guy that wears his own T-shirt. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I think Plastic Man.
That's a solid answer, yeah.
And any reasoning for that, or just Plastic Man?
Just a gut feeling.
He's a
Okay.
goofball.
Well, I'm proud of both of you because my note for this question was bonus points if no one says Booster Gold.
I thought of him. Yep.
So, but
It's
Then
all
I thought of
early
Guy Gardner.
'90s Justice League characters.
Yeah. All the Bwahaha
I
guys.
I think Scott had a much better reasoning for why Guy Gardner would collect his own merch. So we're gonna give that point to Scott. Okay, question number 4: which superhero has the most riding on the game this weekend?
It has to be a hero, not supervillain.
Hero.
Hero? Okay.
I don't know if I know any degenerate gambler heroes. I'm sure there's plenty. Can
Poking
it
me
be
in
an
the back of the head.
anti-hero?
If you could make a compelling argument, I think we could let it slide.
I was gonna say Marv from Sin City. I can see him being a betting man. He's got nothing to lose. He doesn't give a fuck.
Superhero. I'm gonna go Booster Gold because he's just
Okay.
shady enough to do that. Plus, he knows the future, and he might be just shady enough to maybe maybe make a little profit here and there off of that.
Oh, I didn't even think. Oh, some like Back to the Future too.
Yeah. I mean, if he
Booster
thinks
Gold coming back with the sports almanac.
yeah, Booster Biff here, man.
I love that the sports almanac was like 50 pages, but it covered 70 years of every sport. Like,
Yeah.
was it microscopic print?
I think I gotta give it to Booster Gold with the sports almanac.
Yes.
So we'll move on to the next question. Which superhero definitely cheats on Family Game Night?
Booster Gold or Guy Gardner?
On what, Family Games?
Wait, say it
Family
again.
Ga- Which superhero definitely cheats on Family Game Night? Like board games, stuff like that.
Right.
I'm gonna say Franklin Richards, like the young version.
He's like, screw you guys. I'm gonna go
As a child.
long shot because he has luck powers. And so they're gonna say no powers in this, but he's just gonna inadvertently use his luck powers, and next thing you know, everything's coming up long shot.
Fucking long shot. It's kind of a
And he's so innocent, he'd be like, I don't know what I was doing.
99% of anyone listening to this like doesn't know who that is.
Oh, everybody knows long shot. Come on.
He's the one with the he also has the star tattoo, like Shatterstar, right?
Yeah. Yep. I think he's Shatterstar's brother or cousin or something weird like that. I can't remember. They're both from Mojo.
Weren't they always pushing him in the 80s, like trying to like giving him his own series and trying to get everybody on board? Nobody cared.
Well, he debuted in his own series, and then he just moved on to the X-Men from there.
All right. Well,
She's not
for
really a
this
good
one,
girl.
I definitely think that Franklin Richards, just from the angle of being a child, would be
I
far
wanna
more
win.
likely to use his superpowers.
I wanna
especially
win.
if you
Understands
stop
having young kids, like
it- Yeah. Oh, if my kids could alter reality, you bet they'd cheat at everything. All right. Next question: which villain is the most likely to regular a karaoke bar?
Karaoke bar. Villain, huh?
I feel like that's one of the harder questions.
Well, I mean, because, yeah, could it be a sound or a music-based villain, or would it just be like, somebody like the Penguin or somebody who's just going to do it because he's going to do it to make money? Trying to think of like Dazzler villains.
Yeah, this one's super tough.
Just go with your gut.
Well, the first one that came to mind was Songbird, but she's as a hero, but she was screaming Mimi before, so I'll go with her. She's got
Okay.
like she was in the Thunderbolts too. Well, there's a lot of
All right,
Thunderbolts in this.
I'm just gonna say Silver Samurai because he's Japanese and they love karaoke.
Nice one. That's a good one, actually.
Right out of my ass. Mm.
You know what though? I
I
like
dig it. I dig it.
I like
think
it.
I gotta.
I think
I
I
gotta
gotta give you.
I
You know,
really had to
cede
think
the
on that
point
one.
to you.
I would have like an insta win would have been any of the Flash's rogues because I feel like they all go to that one bar and they definitely have a karaoke night there.
I was trying to think of like Pied Piper or something, but I don't remember exactly what his powers do. All right, moving on.
Next question: what is Batman's favorite romantic comedy?
I'm gonna go Groundhog Day because he's turned into Mr. Contingency Man, which means that he wants to see every possible outcome of every possible thing that happens and plan for it. So he probably enjoys the humor in that and actually being able to do that.
Okay,
Fuck,
Kyle?
that's a good one.
Plus, it's a damn good movie.
Batman's favorite comedy
Romantic comedy.
was Groundhog Day. Never mind, you're right. Yeah, he got with Andy McDowell. Sorry, I had to think for a second. Dumb and Dumber. I have nothing for that one. Just give it to Scott.
fair enough. Next question: which hero is the most likely to approach Batman or Iron Man, depending on the universe that you pick, with an exciting business opportunity for them?
Oh, okay.
The person asking Batman to
Iron
fund
Man.
whatever, does he know it's Bruce Wayne, that he's rich?
Yeah, I mean they're heroes, so yes, we'll assume
So
that
they're
approaching
in on
him
the fact that it's
because
Bruce
they know
Wayne.
that
All
they're
right.
yes.
Or with Iron Man, they know that he's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Which seems like everybody and their brother is known at some point throughout his career. So it's got to be a hero, right?
Yes.
I keep doing too many DC, so let's go. Let's see if we can figure out a Marvel guy. I got it.
Let's hear it.
Hawkeye. Hawkeye's going to come to Iron Man with an exciting business proposition for whatever he's coming up with. But, he used to be a bad guy, and he was the circus performer and everything. So he's always had kind of a shady background and knows some shady people. And he's got his brother Barney, is that his name? Who's a little shady himself. So Barney
I think
talks
so.
Clint into something, and then Clint goes to Iron Man with it. That's my answer.
He does invest in real estate. I think that was the Matt Fraction
Matt
run.
Fraction series,
He, like,
yeah.
owned, yeah.
That's
On
way
that
too
apartment
deep
building.
for me right now. I don't
So,
know.
yeah.
This is-
I think he seems like just cornball enough to actually try to ask for a loan for an exciting business opportunity.
I don't know. I was almost gonna say vigilante, but I really only know him from the Peacemaker show. So hasn't there been like 4 of them?
Yeah, there's been a couple. And then there's
I mean,
another one
Graham,
after
you're
her.
putting me against a comics fucking expert here. This is really tough. Just give it to him. I'm slowing it down.
Okay. All right. All right. So we'll move on to the next one. Which supervillain is the most likely to try to sell you a timeshare?
A timeshare.
A timeshare.
Lex Luthor from the Superman movies. Duh, he was all into real estate. That's all he cared about.
Damn you.
Kyle, I feel like there's a really obvious answer that's not Marvel or DC, but is a comic book character.
You trying to give me hints here?
I'm just saying that
I'm still
there's
stuck
someone I
on the
thought.
whole just Marvel DC thing. Jesus.
Well, I mean, you already did someone from Sin City, so.
I don't know. Say the question again.
Which supervillain is the most likely to try to sell you a timeshare?
What a dumb question. I love it.
I'm gonna start ripping through comics right now. It's Spawn.
Yeah. I want to find a place for these bums to live.
Fuck, Graham. I don't know.
He's going to say it, and we're both going to slap our heads, I assume.
Just say it. At least it would be like
I mean-
good to hear.
I mean, if you're not going Marvel or DC, I feel like Cobra Commander is the obvious answer.
He's technically technically was Marvel.
Well, then, all right, even better. But I feel like that is.
Should have done some hand signs or something. No one can see what's going on here. Be like Cobra.
I didn't want to just give you the answer.
All right.
Start with the pyramid scheme and selling soap and whatnot.
I mean, you told me he started as a used car salesman.
Right.
What's one step above that? Timeshares.
I was expecting more lighthearted, easier questions.
I thought these were lighthearted. All right. I mean, the next question.
All right. Let's go.
You can take some creative liberties with.
Oh, boy.
Which supervillain is a brony?
Odd.
Which supervillain is a brony? Oh boy.
I'm just gonna go in here and say the Riddler. I could see that.
No, it's gotta be like a knight from one of the chess themed groups, or maybe
He's
some
doing
guy
that
like,
deep dive that no.
or like a guy like Man Bull. Man Bull. There you go.
I don't know who Man Bull is.
How about the Big Wheel? Big Wheel. I'll go with Big Wheel.
Speed Demon.
What are you changing your answer?
Whatever's the better one, just pick.
Whichever one gives me the
Of,
point.
of mine.
I'm going Man Bull. He's got a thing for them horsies.
Okay.
Horseman. He was a DC character from 1951.
Oh yeah. Beta Ray Bill. Come on.
Fuck you.
It's got to be Beta Ray Bill or the aliens from Power Pack. One of those, because they're like horse guys.
I'm just gonna give the point to Kyle because I feel like he's gonna just disconnect if he doesn't get some points.
I'm
Flip the
leaving now,
table.
but I like the Power Pack reference though. Louis Simonson, right?
Yep. I think it was, it was
Could've
Louis
gone-
Simonson.
Could have gone Suicide Squad and picked Captain Boomerang because he had a thing for unicorns in the movie.
I don't remember that from the movie, but I've only seen it once.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, they keep getting better, so don't worry. If you picked a
Oh.
superhero to submit your tax return, who would you choose?
The Calculator Man, obviously.
You're honestly not far off. Which Marvel superhero is the most likely to invest in New York real estate to cash in on the insurance checks?
Cash in on the insurance checks. Marvel.
Yes. So like they buy property with the express purpose of it being destroyed in a disaster so they can cash in on the insurance.
Tony Stark. 'Cause,
Yeah, that's what I was
half
gonna
of fucking
say,
New
like,
York was destroyed.
He already owns half of it anyway, probably.
Yeah,
Um,
sure he made out in the end.
I'm going to say there's some seedy insider trading, and it's the guys from Damage Control.
Ooh, so I do think I have to give it to Tony Stark only because in the movies, doesn't he? I think he runs Damage Control.
Yeah, I think he
I'm gonna
does
give-
actually.
I'm gonna give
I
it-
think he
I'm
does
gonna
the
give it to
MCU.
Fuck you,
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah. Fuck me.
All right, question 13. Who pays for the Sinister Six's Netflix account?
The Netflix account?
Yep, they're all bumming off of one of them. Who's the
Oh,
one who
boy.
actually pays for the account?
I would say Doc Ock.
That was my first instinct with Doc Ock, but I gotta pick somebody else now, huh?
Is it like the classic Sinister Six, like Electro?
I mean, if they're at least a semi-recognizable.
Sandman was in Sinister Six, wasn't he?
He's definitely been in it, I think.
I'm gonna go him because they're gonna take advantage of him. Wait, no. Was Rhino was in Sinister Six, wasn't he? He's the dumb guy. They're all gonna take advantage of him.
Well, I would assume Doctor Octopus could easily figure out how to steal cable or Netflix. So why would they be paying anyway?
Well, in the Marvel universe, like Electro would find a way to zap it and get it for free. I mean, that's just how
True.
the science works in Marvel universe. Yeah, I'm gonna go Rhino.
Oh, I
'cause
mean,
they're gonna take advantage of him.
I hadn't thought of the fact that he would just steal the Netflix account and then they just borrow his password. I
It's a
gotta give it to
password.
Doc Ock. I do.
Doc Ock 69.
Let me find some good ones.
Well, you said we're up to how many? You say we're up to like 13?
We just finished.
Wait, who
13.
won that one?
I think you did with
Doc
Doc Ock.
Ock.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm jumping around.
All right.
Pitch me a podcast hosted by at least 3 comic book heroes or villains from the same universe.
The Three Robins, Tim Drake,
Oh,
fucking Jason Todd, and what's the other one I'm missing?
original guy.
Dick Grayson?
Yeah, Dick Grayson. Sorry, I was gonna say not Damian Wayne. I was trying to think of Damian.
Oh yeah,
Wayne.
David would be good.
Yeah, the Three Robins.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
A
Okay.
podcast
What
about
would-
being
what would
Bruce
the pod-
Wayne's
We'll be about being
sidekick.
Three Robins. Dude, I don't think I can beat that. Dang, that's a good one. I'd listen to that. I might have to go like more of a generational thing and have like I don't know what it'd be called though. I'd have like Cap and Nick Fury telling old war stories. Maybe throw Black Widow in there too for some more espionage shit. It'd be like the deep seedy side of the World War II forward and all the and military industrial complex that's taken over everything and the formations of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. It's not as good as the Three Robins.
No, I'm sorry. As soon as he said that, you lost that point. I would
Nice.
very much like to listen to that.
I'd much
podcast
rather listen to
now.
Nick Fury, Captain America, and Black Widow discuss things, but yeah.
I mean, that would be like an interesting historical podcast. I think the Three Robins would just have a good, entertaining podcast.
Oh yeah.
Should make a T-shirt of that.
All right, next question. Who is the reason there is no more Justice League Christmas Party?
Guy Gardner, duh.
Oh, fuck you! I was gonna say that.
Or Plastic Man, he's a jokester. Probably Plastic Man. I'll go Plastic Man.
Can I say Fire and Ice? Was that chick
Mhm.
combo?
All right, pitch me the scenarios. Why was the Christmas party canceled?
Well, if it was Guy
What-
Gardner, it was a turd in the punch bowl or getting wasted and hitting on Fire and Ice. And then, because he dated Ice, right? Was that his girlfriend?
Yes.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
Fire probably started a big fight with them, and next thing you know, there's a brawl. If it was Plastic Man, it was just he was probably creeping by changing into things and again spying on Fire and Ice.
I was gonna say maybe Fire and Ice were like making out on the couch, drunk, and Superman was too much of a Boy Scout. He's like, maybe not next year.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. And I think I'd have to give it to Guy Gardner. I do think that would be the.
That's like he would
I think there would be at least one fist fight.
at least one,
Okay.
and there might be a turd in the
Oh.
punch bowl.
Oh, okay. I got a fun one. All right. Dwayne the Rock Johnson changed the hierarchy of power in the DC cinematic universe with his portrayal of Black Adam. How would he be able to do the same thing for the MCU?
Like the
The
dynamic.
The Rock is Kevin Feige now.
Just, pitch me a movie role for the MCU that he could take on and get way too committed to and try to push people out and and end up collapsing the whole thing. Just pitch me an MCU role for The Rock.
I want to see The Rock as Nick Cage or as Luke Cage. That'd be awesome. Get him like a terrible like wig. Put him in the old school outfit with the chains
Oh, with
and
the
everything.
afro?
Yeah.
I
Do an
think
afro and a
I
wig.
think I would physically die inside if I ever heard Dwayne the Rock Johnson say "Sweet Christmas."
You have to make it a comedy. It'd be awesome.
Oh, Jesus.
Have this just gigantic fucking dude walking around.
A Marvel movie starring The Rock.
Yes.
Deathlock.
Ooh, that's a good one. Although he's a little too
Oh.
big for that, I think. Probably enough. Yeah, I guess he has
He's
the
kind of
arm.
like the cyborg of the Marvel. Look him up, Graham.
No, I know
He's
who
awesome.
Deathlock is.
Oh.
I know who
Even-
Deathlock is. He was,
He
it
even popped up
depends
in
on
the
if
Agents of
you,
S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
Yeah, if you consider Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon or not. But Deathlock versus Luke Cage. Ooh.
Comedy Luke Cage. With the fro, the chain, the the open vest shirt. Come on. Open chest shirt.
I'm
Sweet
just saying they're
Christmas.
going to put The Rock in something that like nobody's ever heard of. And they're like, yeah, I should be excited about this. Deathlock, the movie.
I think he's more like to want to be Deathlock because there's already been
Luke
like
Cage.
a Luke Cage, and I feel like they're more likely to bring him back. So I feel like he doesn't want to step into someone else's shoes. So I feel like he's more likely to pick Deathlock.
This game is tough.
All right, which superhero is the most likely to be a Karen?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with. Ooh, boy. Shoot.
You said the Marvel Universe?
Marvel Universe.
I'm going to say Cyclops.
Or no, this one is any.
Cyclops.
It's Cyclops. Okay.
He's a white bread, follows the rules, always just pointing out shit. He's a good man, but, you know, a stickler for the rules.
Okay, I guess we can have male Karens then, huh?
Oh yeah, you can be a male Karen.
Captain Marvel then. Billy Batson. Shazam, that guy. Because he's an upright citizen, sir. You are not following the rules. You can't park that there.
Yeah, but he's a child.
Well, he's kind of a hybrid in his.
I could
form.
see him doing it ironically, like as a
All right,
joke.
just give the point to Kyle. Moving on.
Yes, I do have to give it to Cyclops, but I am Cyclops' biggest hater. So, all right, which DC superhero
Mm-hmm.
is the most likely to not want to fight the Joker, but only because they actually find his jokes funny?
Ambush Bug. Hands down,
Okay.
Ambush Bug.
Okay.
Although I think he might have fought the Joker once. I don't remember.
I feel like this is like some CIA test or like some PSYOP shit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Graham has something to tell the both of us about his past.
DC superhero that would find the Joker funny.
Yeah, like they don't want to fight him because they feel they would be embarrassed by the fact that they like actually find his jokes funny.
All right, I'm gonna say Peacemaker then. He'd be laughing the whole fucking time.
TV show Peacemaker, yeah. Movie Peacemaker, yeah.
100%.
It does seem like that,
He'd be like, "You're a pussy."
I like your style, clown.
but would he be afraid to fight him though? I feel like
No.
he'd embrace that. That was
Oh, yeah.
It's
I don't
which
feel
one
like-
would be most likely to not want to fight him because they find him funny.
Yeah, I think he'd be like, "He's a fucking hilarious guy. Why do I want to fuck him up at that point?"
I feel like I got to give that one to Ambush Bug. First thing Ambush Bug's accomplished in
Ever.
maybe ever. All right, let's do like two more. Which supervillain is the most into K-pop?
Oh, I got it. Dakin, Wolverine's son. He's like Asian and a kind of a weirdo. Seems like he'd be into something like that.
An Asian weirdo. I don't know these fucking questions, Graham. I swear to God.
He's young, he's punk, he's got tattoos, he's hip hop, he's fresh. Come on.
It has to be a villain.
I mean, I would think
He's got that crazy
know,
hair. He's got to be Dakin.
anti-hero. You know, let's not go heroes because that seems too easy.
Fuck. K-pop. I'm trying to think anyone associated with Korea.
Is Madripoor in
I'm drawing a
Korea?
blank.
That's in the Indian Ocean. I'm pretty sure. Pass. Scott wins.
Pass.
Okay. Well, all right. So the score is actually tied at 9. So there's one last question that is going to determine the winner of this game. Who is Spider-Man's newest supervillain? Wrong answers only.
There's so many shit ones right now that
No, I think he wants us to make up a new one.
I mean, Mary Jane Watson as Venom is right there.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
Aunt May dead in the current universe.
I have no idea. Haven't read Spider-Man in forever.
Not sure.
I was gonna say the ghost of Aunt May.
Well, the ghost of my Uncle Ben's been haunting him forever.
Oh,
Sort of. It's got to be something stupid like Bug Spray Man or the Flaming Fart or something like that. Come on.
the bug catcher. Has that been used?
I feel like that's a hilarious answer, but only for the fact that spiders aren't bugs. So I'm just imagining someone running around being like, "I'm the bug catcher," and everyone's just like, "Spiders aren't bugs, dude."
Arachnicus. There you go. There's my villain name.
Arachnicus.
Yes.
You sure it's not
Wait,
like
is that the name of the ghost of Aunt May?
No, it's just something I just pulled out once again.
I think it's going to be the purple helmet and his sidekick Shaft.
There you go. Stupid.
That's my answer, right? Yep, that's my answer.
Oh.
Buddy, I hope.
So wait, Kyle, is your final answer Arachnicus?
Yes.
I really wanted to give the point to the ghost of Aunt May, but I think I would have to give it to the purple helmet
And his sidekick Shaft.
and his
Fine
sidekick
with
Shaft. Can't forget that. All right. Well, I mean, at the end of this, I have Scott ahead by 1 point.
Yay!
Yeah.
What do I win? Let's go!
Let's go.
You get to come back next week.
Sweet.
He's not going to want to after this one.
Is that a win or is that my punishment?
Alrighty, it looks like Scott wins the game. I mean, who the fuck cares? But whatever.
Hey, the questions that you tried, you came up with some really good stuff.
Just so the listeners know, this is being recorded over 2 months later.
Yeah, so just for context, you were tied with Scott going into the last question, and you passed on 3 questions. So
I just gave it to him. What do you want?
I'm just saying, I think you had a real chance to run with it.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Well, we'll have to see for our next clip show episode.
So next week, our big episode 10,
Yeah, double digits.
double digits. Finally, we will talk about the curator experience in Jersey, Scott's vacation, and I don't know, Graham. What do you have going on?
I don't know, maybe I'll give that band Queen a try.
Yeah, you might like them. I heard the lead singer is dead.
Oh, don't tell me that. I'm not going to want to keep going.
Keep it pointless.
Keep it pointless.
Bye, Scott.